Hello and welcome to Bread of Life, a daily devotional program which each week features a different area pastor. Our speaker for this week is Pastor Josh Poteet of West Hartford.
You ever think about caterpillars? It's just one of the things I think about. My wife, she grew up as this kind of, caterpillar whisperer. I guess in North Carolina where she grew up, you would just kind of pick up these bad boys and you run around with them. She has a saying for it, the fuzzier, the better. Not that way in Florida. Where I grew up, if you mess with caterpillars, they start messing with you. No matter where you grew up, though, North Carolina, Florida, Connecticut, I think we can agree caterpillars live a spectacular life. I want you to think about it. One day they exist, and as soon as they start out, they go, you know what? I'm hungry. So you know what they do is they eat a lot, and they get after it until they're full, and they go, you know what? I'm pretty tired, and so they take a nap for weeks, which tells us that caterpillars don't have kids. And can you imagine the shock when they wake up? They get up and they're like, man, what are these? You're saying that I get two of them? If I flap these things, I will leave the ground. I can fly now. What is it? You know what a caterpillar doesn't do? He doesn't get out of his cocoon, look at his wings, say, hey, I'll check those things out later. But honestly, I've been cooped up for a little while. I just can't wait to stretch my legs. They don't want to crawl around. They're not called butter crawlers, which sounds like the world's worst movie theater snack. No. Fly is in the name. They are a new creation. And in that way, butterflies have figured something out that we are still working on. How many of us have experienced the love and grace of Jesus that is designed to leave us transformed as a new creation, but we have these areas in our life that we would just kind of call off limits, areas that we don't want Jesus to change because we are comfortable where we are. It could be a relationship, it could be your finances, it could be hidden sin, whatever it is, you are telling God, you have all of me except this thing. Everything but that. We become these new creations wearing old clothes. And Paul would say, stop it. You're a caterpillar no more. Why are you still crawling around? We are meant to be something new. We are meant to be a new creation. Like a butterfly, we have been made into something different, clothed in a new way. Here's what you need to know. New creations don't wear old clothes. They don't. If you have been saved by Jesus, you are being changed by Jesus. That's in our definition of a disciple that we've been working with. And that means that things that you wore before, you wear no more. New creations don't wear old clothes. In John 11, we see a story where Jesus is going to see his friend who just died. Lazarus is dead. He has been in the tomb. He goes and sees Mary and Martha. They lead him to the edge of the tomb. And Jesus gives a command. He says, hey, take away the stone. Martha responds hey, you don't know what you're doing. He's been in there for a long time. It's gross. It's going to smell. You don't want to do that. See, Martha didn't realize that Jesus had a thing for rolling stones from graves. Eventually, the stone rolls away, and Jesus gives 3 commands. The first command is, Lazarus, come out. He said, hey, have breath in your lungs. That creature that you were, that old creation that you were, that dead thing that belonged in a tomb, you are no more. Have breath in your lungs and a beat in your chest. You are new. The second command was this. He said, take off the grave clothes. Saying the thing that you wore before, the thing that belonged on you when you were in the tomb is not what you wear anymore. You have been made new. You don't wear things for the dead because you don't belong in a tomb. You've been given life. New creations don't wear old clothes. And the last command, he says, let him go. And this idea of letting him go kind of implies 2 things. One, that Mary and Martha wanted to be with him and wanted to kind of hold on to him. Makes sense that their brother was dead and now is alive. They want to be with him, but they need to let him go. It also implies that Lazarus had somewhere to be. So often when Jesus healed somebody or rescued somebody, he would send them into the town to proclaim the testimony of what he had done. I just see Lazarus walking into the town, holding up his grave clothes, saying, hey, I'm not wearing these anymore, but I did. I was dead, and I'm now alive. See, Jesus didn't come to change you from a bad person to a good person. He came to make the dead people alive. And for you and me, we need to remember that we are changed by Jesus as a disciple, and we caterpillar no more.
You've been listening to Pastor Josh Poteet of West Hartford. And this has been Bread of Life, a program to encourage you from God's Word.